Hello, hello, and welcome back to Habitual. Today we have a morning yoga flow to help kickstart your digestive system, open up your hamstrings, get blood flowing up to your brain for cognitive function and clarity, to your face for glowy skin. It's gonna be so good. So let's go ahead and get into it. Grab whatever mat you want, or you can do it on the floor, wherever you are. Maybe just roll on out of bed and hop on your feet. We'll start on our hands, or on our feet at the top of our mat. Go ahead and roll your shoulders forward up towards your ears for an inhale. And exhale, release them down your back. Open mouth side out, roll it up, inhale through your nose. And exhale, roll it back, side out, open mouth. Inhale, sweep your hands up overhead. And exhale, hands come down by your side. While they're down by your side in this tall Tadasana, we want it to be a strong Tadasana. So pull your feet apart like you're gonna rip your mat in half just by energetically pulling your feet apart. This turns on your glutes, your quads, your core. Roll your shoulders up and back and tuck your pelvis under slightly, turning on your core, bringing your shoulder blades together. Starting off our morning with good posture. Feel every piece of your feet touching the mat, your toes all gluing in, really grounding through the soles of your feet here. Hold one moment for gratitude. Gratitude coming to your mat, gratitude for waking up this morning, gratitude for rest in our sleep, gratitude for the bed that we lay our heads on, and gratitude to be able to have a list set before us for the day and go and execute on that, whatever that list may be. Gratitude for the energy that will carry us through that, and for us taking the time here to cultivate clear energy, clear intention. On your next inhale, sweep your hands up overhead, Tadasana. Exhale, swan dive forward, coming down onto your hands, step your feet back, downward facing dog. Internally rotate your arms so your elbow creases are facing the front of your mat. Tuck your pelvis under, extending your hips higher towards the ceiling. Heels are going down towards the mat. If you need to have a bend in your knees here, that is so okay. A lot of times we need that extra support right when we're waking up, so take whatever variation feels really nice to your body this morning. We're here for 3 breaths. I invite you to come into an Ujjayi breath, focusing on inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your nose. Inhale onto your tippy toes here, and exhale your heels to the mat. Inhale, tippy toes, start to take tiny little steps to the top of your mat, heel toe your feet as wide as the mat. Take your toes off and start to sink your hips down, bringing your elbows into your knees, the inside of your knees, pressing them away. Sit up tall here. Again, if you need some extra support here, you can slide a pillow, stack of books, bolster, whatever it is, under your hips so you can sit on that. Or if you're feeling like you are ready to sink into your hips, stay here in an active malasana for 3 more breaths. Keeping that inhale through the nose and your exhale through the nose. On your next exhale, plant your hands, send your hips up, forward folds, keeping a micro bend in your knees here. And then pressing into your hands, step your feet back, coming down onto your knees. Inhale for cow, shoulder blades come together. Pelvis tilts forward. Exhale, tuck your pelvis, arch your back, cat. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. Inhale, neutral spine. Walk your hands up to a standing posture on your knees. You can take your hands back behind you and clasp them together, opening your chest up towards the ceiling. Take your gaze up towards the top corner of your room, or to the sky if you're practicing outside this morning, getting that extra vitamin D. If this feels really nice, but you would like a little bit more, you can take your hands back to your ankles. Keep your gaze up towards the sky, or take your head and release it backwards, opening up your throat space, your chest, sending your hips forwards towards the front of the mat. On your next inhale, walk your hands up and slowly bring your chin back into a tucked position. Come onto your hands and knees. Keep your toes tucked. On an exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up into the air. And exhale, open it up, opening your right hip open to the side of the room. And exhale, close it. Draw your knee to nose. Inhale, open. Exhale, open your hip. Inhale here. And exhale, knee to nose. Step your right foot forward, find a simple twist. Left hand is glued into the mat, right hand comes up overhead. And exhale, plant your right hand, step your right foot back, three-legged dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg comes up. And exhale, open your hips, finding three-legged dog. Close your hips, bring your knees in towards your nose. Inhale, three-legged dog. And exhale, hook your heel. Inhale, close your hips, and exhale, knee to nose. Set your left foot down. Right hand stays planted, left hand comes up overhead. And exhale, plant your left hand, step your left foot back into three-legged dog. And exhale, both feet are down on the mat. Inhale here. And exhale, bend into your knees, look forward, hop or step to the top of your mat, meeting in a halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold, heel to your feet out to the side, toes come off of your mat, elbows come in towards your knees, Malasana. On your next exhale, plant your hands down, step back into your downward facing dog. Inhale onto your tippy toes, roll forward, high plank. Exhale, drop your knees, hips distance apart. Open up for cow on an inhale. And exhale into cat. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. Inhale, neutral spine. Walk your hands back towards your legs, coming into a standing posture on your knees. Take your hands together. Inhale, open your chest. Exhale, send your hips a little more forward. If this feels like enough for you, stay there. If not, you can take your hands to your ankles, finding 2 breaths here in camel. On your next inhale, slowly begin to unravel, standing back up onto your knees. Plant your hands, and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale onto your tippy toes, gaze forward, and hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, hands come up overhead, tall Tadasana. And exhale, forward fold. Hands come down to your mat. Step your left foot back. Left hand stays planted. Simple twist. Right hand up overhead. And exhale, find wrist circles as you bring your right hand to the mat. Step up through standing half splits on an inhale. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step your right foot back. Plant your right hand down. Left hand comes up. Find wrist circles as you bring your left hand down to the mat. On an inhale, step up into standing half splits. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift here. And exhale, hands come to the mat, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale onto your tippy toes, and exhale, send your heels to the mat. Inhale onto your tippy toes, gaze forward, and exhale, hop to the top of your mat for a forward fold. Heel to your feet as wide as the mat, and sink your hips down, Malasana. On your next inhale, plant your hands, send your hips up, forward fold. And exhale, step your feet back, coming down into all fours. Inhale, open up, cow. Exhale, tuck it under, cat. Inhale, open up, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, coming onto a neutral spine, walk your hands up. Stand up onto your knees, and you can either take your hands clasped behind your back or go ahead and take your hands back to your heels. Opening up for camel, we're here for 3 breaths. On your next inhale, start to walk your hands up your legs, coming back onto a standing position. Sit down on your knees, hands come out in front of you. One moment here in child's pose. While we're here in child's pose, get nice and comfortable. You can bring your toes together, knees wide, or take a traditional child's pose with your knees together, feet together, just about hips distance apart there. And start to call in your intention for the day. Maybe that intention is a word. Maybe it's one character trait that you want to embody today. Maybe it's grace, discipline, steadfastness, humility, kindness, truthfulness. Or maybe you want to set your intention with a principle of yoga. 2 that I'll offer to you today. 1 is non-attachment. This one is the idea that you have an end goal in mind. You have certain things that you are working towards. It's great to have goals, but you're unattached to what the reality of that's going to look like when you come to it, or what the path there will lead, how it will look, what steps you will or will not have to take. It's trusting that you intuitively can take steps every day in the right direction, and trusting that you'll find your way. It's a deep knowing that wherever you are intending on going, whatever that goal is, that with each choice that you make, you are becoming the person who is worthy of living in the reality of that goal. One last intention you could choose to grab onto today is nonviolence. Sometimes it's easy to laugh at the nonviolence because oftentimes we don't have issues with macro violence, like getting in physical fights or more gory displays of violence, but nonviolence comes down to how you speak to yourself.
Do you pick yourself apart? Do you send harsh judgments when you don't deliver in the way that you should? The way that you think you should? Nonviolence can be in the way that you eat, the factors you consider when you choose what you consume. It can be in the practice of how you communicate with others, how you respond, even if it's just internally in your own car when someone cuts you off, or how do you respond? Grab on to whatever your intention is for the day, and for 3 breaths, inhale, accepting this intention, and exhale, releasing anything that is not serving you and coming to the reality of this intention. Inhale, accept, and exhale, release. Inhale, accept, and exhale, release. On your next inhale, begin to slowly roll up vertebrae by vertebrae, coming into a seated posture with your hands on your knees. Roll your shoulders forward, up towards your ears and down your back. Find some intuitive movement, maybe turning side to side. Taking your hands and letting your wrists have opposite hips as you twist side to side. And then come back to stillness. Thank you so much for joining us here at Habitual today. It has been an absolute pleasure flowing with you. Feel free to stack this on with other videos on the channel. We have meditations, workouts, other flows. But if this has been enough for you, then cheers to you, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, your evening. We will see you back here tomorrow.